17 minutes. Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah, this is like the original catchphrase that I had for it.
That's so good. And wait, SCCA1 or I?
1.
So, tell me about that. What's that mean? What does it stand for?
Well, it was funny because like just the way that I believe in the universe and like a concept of God is like it's called Source.
Yes.
Because everything leads back to Source. And I was originally gonna call it Source A1. Like this show was gonna be called Source A1.
Like your Instagram, the other channel.
Yeah,
right?
like the other one. But how would I put it? Yeah, like I was talking to friends about it, and they're like, "Nah, that's like cringe." I was like,
what? I mean, where does the A1 come from again? Source.
so
A1.
it was gonna be Source, like stand for Source and One.
Okay,
but there's
cool.
also that brand called And One, which is like I think a basketball.
Yeah, shoes or basketball or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So I was kind of scatterbrained on like, what do I call it? Like, because obviously it's like I wanted a sick name for it.
Yeah.
And just like,
of course.
I was like,
What a
okay,
lovely brand.
SCCA1. So
Scar one. I just read like SCC. Sorry, I tried to ruin that. Cool.
Yeah.
And wait, when did you start? When did you choose that name?
So maybe like 2.5 weeks ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did it just come to you?
No, I was thinking about it. So it stands for Source, Creative Consciousness, Abundance, One.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So yeah, it's got some levels in it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like you could just pull that apart, and yeah.
Yeah, that in itself is its whole like it's a whole rabbit hole.
True. Like, do you feel like you chose those words because do you feel like you try to live your life according to those kind of like values or paths or?
So it's interesting because obviously, like, I've known you since November last year, and like towards that I was like starting to really like figure out like my whole like what's happening in life right now, because last year was a rabbit hole in itself.
The last couple of years were just a rabbit hole.
COVID is like it's a whole rabbit hole right there.
It's a bit of a blur too to me.
Yeah, no, that's
crazy.
Fair. Who can remember that far back anyways?
But yeah, everything was kind of building up. And
yeah, everything was building up, and then I like obviously worked with you, and and it was like I'd never really met anyone else who was also kind of like more spiritually inclined. So to that point, it's kind of like I was like on the verge of like, you know, I might be a little bit crazy, and I didn't mind that. Yeah, but I was like, oh, okay, like I know what I'm saying is right, but at the same time, it's like it was good because it's like, okay, now I don't feel alone either.
Yes, like you can speak this out loud and then no one's gonna shut you down. Well,
Exactly.
someone might, but like certain people.
Might. It's like I've gotten to a point where it's like, you know, people that like it's a lot of like everyone's got ego, and it's like, you know what, I'm my own individual person, and everyone's their own individual person, so it's like they're allowed to have opinions. I'm also allowed to have the right to not care about other people's opinions. Everyone just seems to be in this world where it's like they talk, and it's like they think that they have to like care about someone else's opinions. It's like they can still listen without, you know, having to be like, oh yeah, for sure. So,
yeah, that's so true. Oh, I feel like as someone who sometimes feels like the people around me maybe have different like beliefs and values, like, and being a little bit of a people pleaser, which I'm working on, like especially during the last few years, which were really controversial. I feel like I'm only just starting to be a bit more honest and try not to care what I think people are thinking. It's not actually, sometimes people don't actually think anything, but you think
they think,
and that influences your way of like expressing yourself, and then you're like, why am I holding myself back? Like,
also the thought of like just the judgment that someone else is gonna give. I know that's what held me back from like speaking my truths to specific people a lot last year, just because it's like I didn't want them to perceive me in a different way.
Yes, so
which
true.
like I don't know, it's kind of like detrimental.
Yeah.
Because it's like then it's like you can feel that energy of someone being able, like, holding back, and me being someone who's very, like, energy sensitive, like, I noticed that sort of thing, and then, like, I didn't really, it's like...
I agree. I feel like maybe it's a survival thing. Like, you kind of want to, well, like, I don't know, you kind of want to fit in. That's kind of how you kind of grow up, because it keeps you safe.
Of course.
And then so you're a bit scared to speak your opinions or, like, your beliefs because you're worried you're going to be excluded from the pack. Yeah. But, like, I feel like how many times in your life has it been so beneficial when you do say something that you believe in? Because then it connects you with people you're meant to be with, you know?
Exactly.
And it's not like you want to exclude everyone else, but you have better connections with people who are, like, more aligned with your way of going about things. I don't know, like, then I'm, like, met new people because it's led me down this path because I've been truthful about something.
Of course.
Yeah, it's worth it.
That's something also I noticed. It's like, mainly for me when it comes to people's just mindsets, that's mainly what I look at at least, just because like I believe people are allowed to believe whatever they want to, just because, you know, we're all our own individuals, but you know, if someone's got like a really rotten mindset, it's like, I used to also be a people pleaser and be like, oh, you know, like, stay around, maybe I could fix them, or like that sort of thing. But also it's like, you don't realize how detrimental it is for your own mindset. Even like recently, like I disconnected from a lot of people last year, just because it's like I was trying to figure out what I wanted from like life and all, like, everything source. And like I started slowly this year letting people back in, but like only on like a very fine line, just because it's like it's kind of like testing out to see who they are as people, who they've become as people, and who they like, what route they're going, because it's like I don't necessarily want to give my energy out to just like everyone and anyone, just because it's like, I don't know, like a lot of people have kind of like misused me to an extent, and I just don't want to be around those sort of people.
Yeah, it's not like you're testing them in like an assessing kind of like critical way, but it's, you're being a bit more, what's the word, like mindful, discerning maybe as well.
Using my discernment to like see if, you know, just
like,
what
is
the ground
this right
is
for me? That's a good idea.
Before the timer, you know, goes out. Shit.
Exactly. That's actually pretty smart, because it can be really draining. Everyone's got a few energy suckers in their life, and you know what? Sometimes I think I do believe that. I think I've heard this before from someone else. So it's not me making this up, but like, everyone is doing the best they can with what they know. I try to believe that, and so everyone's on their own journey, and I just said energy suckers, which sounds like a really negative thing, actually. But I guess, like, they might drain your energy, but sometimes it's like, we're always going through something. So, like, no one is, I really believe, doing something wrong, like, always on purpose. Like, there's something that's happened to them to be like that.
Without a doubt. Like, that's why it's like, I don't feel anger towards a lot of these people.
That's good.
It's because, to an certain extent, we are a sum of the inputs that you know we've received from growing up, and the inputs that we see, like, received from unconsciously from the world around us. And like, I'm not going to judge someone else's you know, behaviors, because it's like, you don't know what they've gone through. You don't know like their story. But also at the same time, people, they've got to respect. I don't necessarily need to stick around them just because, you know, like, even though they, you know, they've gone through whatever, doesn't mean I necessarily want to like associate and engage with that like sort of thing, because it's like, I'm on my own journey as well. And you know, I know what I'm capable of. I know the work that I've done to get to where I've needed to get. If people want to like discredit me or whatnot, it's like, cool, they're allowed to have their own opinions.
I love that.
And just like, once again, I don't need to care about them either, so it's like, I'm like just here living my life, chilling, and everyone else be stressing like that. I'll be like, nah, it's not for me.
Do you feel like, because it's so good, I really like how you keep saying that you're like accepting that people have their own opinions, because I do feel like nowadays there's a tendency for people to feel like they all need to have the same opinion. Like it's kind of like, if you don't agree with this, wow, there is something wrong with you. Like the whole cancel culture thing, which
it's gotten pretty toxic.
It's pretty full on, and they don't really let people redeem themselves either. Like if people do make a mistake,
they act as if we're not all human.
Yes. We've got to keep making mistakes. That's like what happens.
I think like honestly, mistakes are kind of the way to center our lives around, just because the more we actually learn from mistakes. At the end of the day, like you make a mistake, you learn a lesson. But we're taught in school, it's like we're supposed to learn a lesson and then what? Like I don't even know. Like how does that even work?
You've
like,
learned the lesson, you're gonna be perfect. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. No. And it's like that's why I think school for me I never really like fitted in or like really molded to their system because it's like they expected a certain thing. Yeah. And it's just not who I ever was. Yeah. So it's like, I've read the reports and he's like, oh, you know, he's rebellious and all these, so, you know, he thinks from a logical standpoint, like he answers literally instead of like, I'm like, well, yeah, you asked the literal question, how else are you supposed to fucking answer? It's like...
And it's funny because they were probably writing that saying in a negative way. Oh, you're okay.
No, I'm thinking my microphone.
I mean, that's what I meant. Where is that?
Cheers. Both the microphones are out.
Yep. All right.
Testing.
Yeah. Working, hopefully.
Yeah, so welcome guys. Welcome to SCCA1. I'm going to actually say the full intro because it's pretty cool now. Okay. Welcome to SCCA1. Here we're going to focus on purpose, passion, drive, spark to the mind, body, and spirit. You know, first episode we didn't have that intro, but now we do. Welcome back to the second episode. Yes. We've got the lovely Georgia Renee here today.
Thank you for having me. This has been a long time coming.
Of course. It was only bound to happen. Everything happens for a reason.
It was, and I'm here in Melbourne. It's sunny. Actually, it's blue sky. This is unusual for Melbourne. Got some blue sky?
Lately, I don't know. It's all a big hit or miss.
Oh, it is.
I'm pretty sure the government are, you know... seeding clouds into the sky. Shh, don't tell Dan, you know, he might get a bit angry that I'm revealing that.
Yeah, don't reveal that here.
But, you know, it's like...
It's a beautiful day.
Yeah, can't go wrong. It's like, the sun, I don't know, the sun... Have you noticed the sun seems different lately?
Well, I've been in Brisbane for the last few months, so it's kind of like consistently sunny there. Coming to Melbourne, I'm noticing that everything looks more green and yellow, which is kind of beautiful. I don't know. What have you noticed the differences?
I spend a lot of time out in the sun.
Yeah.
Just because it's like natural source of energy. It's like
vitamin D.
Exactly, get that vitamin D into the skin.
Yes.
And after last year, I made the discernment that, you know, during winter, I didn't spend enough time in the sun, and I was like, why was I always sad and low energy over winter? Yeah. And I was like, okay, I didn't spend enough time in the sun getting like vitamin D and all that, because I spent a lot of time during summer in the sun.
Ah, yeah.
So I was like, okay, and like, I don't know, after just watching the sun for like last couple months, it just feels like stronger than it has in the last couple of years, I'd say.
It's possible, to be honest. Yeah. Global warming and things. I don't know.
Who knows these days? Nothing.
I don't know about anything.
They don't tell us anything these days.
Sometimes I have an idea, and then the next day I'm like, no, actually 5 minutes later I'm like, I have no idea.
It really do be like that sometimes.
Yeah, literally. Good timing. Yes.
Camera.
That's camera action. Yeah, do we need to do those claps to sync everything?
Don't worry. I'll leave it for post-production.
Yeah. Not my job.
No, not my job. It's like, So, yeah, do you want to introduce yourself, and then we'll get into what we've already been talking about.
Yeah.
But
pre-camera.
Pre-camera.
Yeah.
Pre-microphone.
Sure.
And yeah,
get into it. Well, I'm Georgia Renee, and well, like, yes, I guess I'm gonna say who I think I am at this point in my life, because it's always changing. But yeah, I'm a singer-songwriter, and I'm also a music therapist. So music's a pretty big part of my life, my weeks at the moment, and sort of has been for quite a while. But yeah, I write music in like the style of kind of folky pop, although I must say at the moment I don't even know how to classify my genre because I've heard my song play on really random radio stations and I'm like, oh, am I country? Like, I don't even know what style I am. And of course, some radio stations just don't even play my music, so I don't know. But I write music and I'm sort of at like a point where, yeah, I feel really grateful for where I am right now. Like I've got my own music therapy business, which I run mostly online, and that's like very life-giving for me because I just really love seeing how music affects other people and how they can engage with it and how we can connect through music. I just think that's such a thing that we can all connect through. I mean, art in general, I think, is a bit like that, but music is very powerful. And I'm able to do that, every day. And then for my own therapy, I write songs and release them and make art around them. And that's very therapeutic for me. So I feel really lucky to be where I am right now. But yeah, it hasn't always been just from A to B, like easy journey. It's always like bits and pieces. But as we were just saying before, like mistakes are part of life, and
it's all a roller coaster.
Absolutely, it's kind of all meant to be like that. And we're just saying everything's kind of meant to be like. Yeah, I don't know. Like I've had some vocal issues in the past, and that stopped me from recording and releasing music for about 5 years. And then now I'm back, and it's like
better than ever.
I'm in a much better mental state to be sharing music because it does come with a lot of like doubt, I guess. Like because the music industry is quite, they say, saturated, which is not always a bad thing, but yeah, a lot of competition with social media out there right now, algorithms, numbers. You kind of need to have, I don't want to say thick skin, but just, I reckon, sharing anything artistic as well, or anything in the public, it can be easy to care about what people think.
Oh yeah, it can be so easy to get lost in that.
Absolutely.
Like kind of just associating one's worth with like what other people, especially behind a screen, say, and it's like they don't know anything realistically. It's like they only know what they've been shown.
And I feel like you just have to. It's like I have to constantly check in with myself and my energy and think, why am I thinking those thoughts? And in order to keep producing like from an authentic place, like and place of enjoyment rather than trying to prove something or trying to be something I'm not, and all that sort of stuff. So it's definitely a journey of like constantly reflecting on yourself and what am I doing. But it's cool. It's nice. I get to meet people. That's the cool thing. Music really does, as I said, connects you. So like we met on set last year of my first ever music video, second song ever, and now we're here in our hometown.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like good day, good vibes, good energy.
Yeah. Oh, all good. So that's where I am at the moment.
That's amazing. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming on.
No, thank you. This is just, it's so nice. We're going to have a continuation from that little like video that we did on the pier.
Yeah, exactly.
So nice.
Exactly. It's like, it's all good energy. It's all continuation. It's all, one world.
Yeah. I know, one lifetime in this body. Yeah.
Exactly. So we're going to talk about spirituality today. Obviously both pretty spiritually inclined people. I'm curious how you got into like this kind of like lifestyle.
Well, that's a cool question, like into the lifestyle that I have right now. Like I do think there's like through lines that sort of like you look back and it all makes sense as to why you are where you are, but there's always a couple of things that stand out. And like for me, like the lifestyle I live right now, I really think the first thing that comes to mind is these essential oils. Like I went to my first workshop in like 2018 where I just got to learn all about plant medicine and how there's so many natural alternatives to supporting your health. And I already had like a bit of a passion and interest in that, but I walked away from that going like feeling really empowered to know that there's actually so much that I can do to support myself, and not that I can control everything, but that made that journey of learning how to use plant medicine like essential oils, pure plant extracts to support your emotional well-being, your spiritual, your physical well-being. It made me just like put myself more in the driver's seat of my life and not put that weight on someone else or other people to make me feel better. And I feel like after using them for a few years, it's just made me way more something that I use them and I was like, I want to get these oils just to help my skin. but what it's done is actually put me more in touch with myself. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a lot more aware of how I'm feeling, like, and what I need to feel better, and allowing myself to even feel the feelings because of them. And it sounds so weird, but it has.
No, it makes sense.
I don't know.
Like, I feel like most people don't really understand, like, the feelings that they're feeling and where it, like, stems from, or why they're feeling that way, or is it actually an emotion that, you know, is coming from them, or is it coming from, like, the environment that they're in?
Yes, totally. And I think, like, as I was just saying before this, like, now they help, like, there's this ability to constantly have a self-check-in, because I'm kind of like, today, I'm like, right, what am I going to wear today? I want to be in my energy. All right, passion, putting passion on. And so it's just a minute to stop and think. And I think music is the same sort of thing. It's like, how do I feel? All right, I want to get fired up. All right, I'm going to put this playlist on. Or, oh, I just need to ground down. It's been a hectic day. Grounding music. It's the same sort of thing. Again, checking in with yourself, because otherwise, which I do as well, I'm not perfect. You can get stuck on your phone and distract yourself from how you're feeling a lot. And just be busy all the time, and so you're not paying attention to what's going on inside.
The little things that is just, like, bubbles up.
There's so much stimuli as well. Like, there's so much noise, like, out there. So you actually have to be really disciplined in a way to block it out a little bit to see what's going on inside. So, yeah, that was kind of that thing. And then now, I must say, last year, the last couple of years have been crazy, and it really forced me to... I left my job, and my partner and I bought a van, and we went travelling last year around the east coast of Australia, and it was exactly what I needed to learn about slowing down, not being part of that hustle culture that's super strong in big cities, especially Melbourne, I think, personally.
Yeah.
And it was a big force of slow down. Like, I didn't have full-time work. I just worked a little bit. It was mostly... The big issues were, what are we eating tonight? Oh, what waterfall are we going to go to? When are we going to fill up petrol? Like, such minor issues, you know? But that was like, all right, you have to chill. Like, there's no power, so you can't even do work on your laptop. Like, and it was hard at first. But just because I think I'm sort of ingrained to be like, always work hard to prove yourself, blah, blah.
Yeah, that just constant need to be doing things, and, like... instead of just sitting down and just, like, chill.
And being present. And I think it invited more stillness into, like, my life, which I didn't realise how much I needed, because then I was able to listen to myself more. And I know you're really big about, like, intuition, which I think I'm still working on, but, like, if you don't have that much, like, stillness, then you can't really think about what it is that your higher self or you truly want. And so now, like, I'm back in a big city in Brisbane, not as bit hectic as Melbourne, but now I'm just finding ways to cultivate what I learned over the last couple of years of, like, being chill in simple terms into the city. And I actually feel really grateful to say that I'm at a place where I'm not, like, working super, super hard, but I'm doing what I love, and it's getting me by. And yeah, I'm in a city, but I still feel like I'm able to remember to just take it easy. Sometimes I have to remind myself just to breathe, don't have to rush through to get everything done. Probably right now I'm talking really fast. I'm really excited. But yeah, just chill.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that kind of, like, how would I put it? In a sense, like, just, as I said, like, we get that mentality of hustle culture. Probably the way that we've been brought up in schools and whatnot with, like, homework and just... that we always need to be doing something.
Yes.
Whereas, like, me, I've always been lazy, so it's like, I'm like, no,
thanks.
none of that. I'll find my own way to get things done.
Good. You know what, I think I will admit that, because you mentioned before you were, like, in school, and I think I admire that, because definitely growing up I've been more of a goody-goody. I will say I've always been someone that hands my homework in time, and I've definitely been a rule follower. Meeting my partner, who's Latino, definitely changed that, because it was like, cross the road when it's red, like, safely, you know. Like, it's just made me go, oh my God, things that I was worried about, like, they don't really matter. Like, I know problems are, like, relative and stuff, but, like, there was a lot of kids at school who actually challenge the system. Teachers don't like it, but I admire that, you know. Like, I feel like since I left school, then I remember doing a philosophy subject in high school, and then because, like, the last few years have really turned my world upside down, I'm now a bit more I wouldn't say rebel, but I don't think as much like the majority. I realize now, and I'm just kind of starting to do like what you said, like live life more on your terms.
Yeah.
Not just they challenge everything. You question a lot, and that's what a lot of kids did in high school.
I question everything just because like I've always had that like anti-authority mentality since a young age. Like,
what do you think started that? Like, because that's cool.
I've explored it. It's like
parents or
yeah, it's a bit my parents. So like, as a kid, I would always be asking questions. Because I always wanted to know things.
Very curious.
And then, like I think at one point, like I was asking questions around Christmas. And at a very young age, because I heard something from like someone in my class, and I was like, oh, okay, no way that's true. Like, no way that's true. And I went up to my mum and asked her, and she was like, oh, why don't you go and look it up on the internet? And then I did, and then I was like, well, I guess that takes all the fun out of that.
Santa does not really.
So I was like, well, what do I do? So yeah, then I think I've just had a lot of run-ins with like people of like, I'm gonna say authority, with quotation marks, because it's like, realistically, no, they just, I don't know, they're not that great, as they weren't that great as people. Like, I remember one time very specifically in primary school, like, everyone gets taught, look both ways before you cross the road. And me and my mate, we did that, and then we ran across the road, because we're kids and we're boys, so it's like we're gonna run. And we got a spraying to from our teacher and the principal. They're like, you guys didn't check the side of the road. And we're like, we did. They're like, we didn't see you guys do that. All we saw was running. It's like, from that point,
you've had so many little experiences where like they're just power trips, like, or
oh yeah, they're so power hungry, and it's like you notice you can sense that from people these days. The ones who like have got like that perception of power, and it's kind of like, bro, get off your high seat. It's like, at the end of the day, it's like they weren't even doing their jobs really. It's like,
I do feel like it's funny, like I think the people that inspire and influence you most are, they might have a authoritative position, but they're a leader in a positive way. Like, I'm sure there's been people in your life who've really inspired you, but they didn't do it from a place of I'm better than you. Like, it was 100%. Like acceptance of you and your skills and you as an individual. Because I feel like in primary school and high school, actually, my high school was okay, but like, it's definitely an us versus them mentality. But it's not, it'd be nice if it was a bit more like that, right? Like, and that's when you feel more inspired to learn and grow. And
well, yeah, even in high school in itself, it's like I just really didn't care by the end of it. It's like I'd gone through so much shit there that like by the time I got to year 12. Excuse me. All I really cared about was going to work after school to go and earn money, so much to the point where I'd leave school early to go and pick up extra shifts. And then even there was some scenarios where I'd just leave school like at the start of the day to go and deal with other stuff that was going on, because it had more of a priority than school, because it's like they weren't really like I ended up doing VCAL, so like I asked to move back to VCE, but they wouldn't let me, so I was kind of like, okay, cool. Bludge year to an extent, like I was able to get all the work done very quickly and easily. So I was never worried about, if I miss a class or I do a thing, it's like I was like, yeah, I can get it done. But I feel like they just don't actually teach you to learn, which is the issue about it.
Teaching to learn.
Because I noticed that over COVID and like going through uni, they were always like trying to get you to reflect and just reflect on like the stuff you're learning, and even that I struggled with a little bit. But once I got the hang of it, it was like cool. But like they don't actually teach you to go and learn, because learning can be like really fun when you're learning stuff that you want to learn about.
Yes.
And,
and in your own way, because often there's kind of like one way of learning. They show you. There is many, but there's like one way that they do for you. But I don't know if that's like because like the classes are just so big, like, but they don't encourage you to think.
I was thinking about it yesterday, and I was like, because I saw a post by one of my mate's girlfriends she's a teacher, and it was like along the lines of, teachers, like they never really have their own time, like essentially, because when they're at work, they're working. When they're at home, they have to do work
Planning.
to go to work and all of that sort of stuff.
No time for
And
themselves.
yeah, pretty much. And I just feel like also teachers don't have actually enough life experience. To
Like
the point where it's like
entering
actually,
too young, maybe? Or like...
I feel like it's a little bit of that, but like it's also about like, I don't know. I know a few years back some people like just wanted to get into teaching for the fact that it's like good money.
That's never a good reason, is it?
Yeah, and it's like
Just that.
I don't know, like teaching I feel like should be like its own art form in a sense where it's like people have an opinion or a thought that they actually want to go out and share with the world and teach like a certain way, because like everyone learns in different ways.
Definitely.
Everyone thinks in different ways, and then we just expect like, I don't know, like young people to go and teach classes of like 20 to 30 students, which like most of the time the individual students won't even have enough realistically, or like enough time to the teachers to actually develop any like actual learning. Where it comes to like, you know, that's why by the time that they're 18 they're so confused, because they're like, what's the like they have literally no idea what the point of their life is, because they haven't learned to like be like, oh, okay,
themselves, maybe.
or even to the point it's like they don't even know what they enjoy doing, because
True.
they've only done things either because their parents have made them to, or because like their mates have done something.
Yes.
And it's like,
and I feel like there's so many things to this. I love what you just said. Like, I feel like maybe the problem also stems from like even just the curriculum. Like, I agree. I was a music therapist, but in a school, and that was kind of like I was kind of being a music teacher with a music therapy lens. Bit complicated. Anyway, but basically, it just feel like it gives you. Yes, everyone likes a bit of a guideline, but it also makes you like. I just realize it's very simplified, or how do I explain? I just think it's too structured, but it's a bit outdated. And I think all the teachers think that they're actually teaching often. It's like, do I have to stick to the curriculum? I want to talk about this, I want to talk about this. But it's not on the curriculum, so I don't have time to teach it, so I'm not going to do it. Or there's like that, but then there's like, when the kids get to 17 or 18 years old, when they have to pick a course, they often get into a course they don't actually realise they want to do until like they're halfway through it and they've spent like all this money on the HECS debt, which is a hot topic right now. But
I try to stick out of like the world in terms of like that sort of stuff, because I don't like too much. Like I like very much controlling the inputs that I'm personally putting into my own life, because I know how like how quickly something can like manifest into reality, and it's like I don't want to be accidentally like manifesting shit that is like irrelevant to like the life I'm trying to live. And like that came through like a lot of study, especially over COVID, and analyzing like what was affecting me, because I got rid of a lot of social media, and like I realized like a lot of people obviously were on social media, and like they've been putting a lot of garbage into their system. I see some of the TikToks and things people watch, and I literally have to tell them, stop showing me that garbage, because it's like,
because you're actually feeding yourself.
Yeah, it's unconsciously it's going into your subconscious, and it's like shit's just gonna equal more shit. It's a whole thing with the universal law of karma. Whatever you put out into the universe is what you'll receive. So if you're watching shit, it's only gonna like internalize and make you shit. It's like if you hang around indecisive people, you're gonna become indecisive. If you hang around angry people, you're gonna be angry. If you hang around successful people, you're gonna be successful.
Yes, it's so true.
So yeah, even the whole thing, you are like the sum of who you, like the 5 people you hang around.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that doesn't take it far enough.
Yeah, that's probably true. Oh my god, it doesn't, does it? Because like that seems like, yeah, that's really true. But there's so much outside of that. Like it's a whole system. Like
it's like it's a big matrix. Like I very often refer to, obviously everything's energy. Like I kind of see life as a bit of a video game.
Elaborate. I like that.
So did you ever play RuneScape?
Nah, I didn't. But I remember hearing about it.
Yeah,
it probably wasn't allowed. My parents probably said no, and I said okay.
Sure.
See, goody goody.
So it was a game that I used to play with my mates when I was like a really young kid, and essentially like you had all these skills and like this skill board, and you'd go and like, I don't know, chop wood or chop trees down, and then you'd gain XP from chopping the tree down, and then you can start a fire with the wood, and then you gain XP for like fire thing, and then like it had a bunch of things like attack stats, defense stats, archery stats, magic stats, everything. And then your overall level. And I kind of see life as like you can do that as well. So it's like you want to get better at swimming. It's like you go to the pool, you swim.
You get XP.
You get XP.
Yeah.
It's like you go for 3 months of swimming every day. You've got 3 months worth of XP, which means it's like you're going to be at a higher level than someone who doesn't swim.
Yeah, like your energy is higher.
Yeah, and then it contributes to your overall energy level, and then you're obviously like if you add stuff up, it's like you're just able to do more.
Yes.
And then my theory, like I was trying to like support it somehow, and it's like, you know, when you start like a new job and like the first 2 weeks you're really tired after like starting the job.
Yes, absolutely. You don't want to do anything on the weekend.
Exactly. It's like it's because you're readjusting to that, using that amount of energy, which most people, like especially when it's a new job that they're not aware of, it's like they're gonna struggle because they're learning.
Yeah. And
then it's like after that they're usually fine.
They're like built up.
They've built up enough, so that way it's like, you know.
Yeah, it does take. I really like that because it kind of like, I love when you refer it to a video game, because it's like, okay, you're building up the XP of that, and then you put all these new friends that are really supportive and you know, have big visions. Then that brings up your XP, the diet, your your fitness,
exactly,
and then like your spiritual, your mindset, and then imagine then it brings down your XP when you consume something that's really like draining of your energy, and that brings it down. Like,
exactly,
could be literally a really informative video game. You should create that, patent that.
It's copyrighted. Don't you guys steal my ideas?
You heard it here first.
So like I think there's core principles around everything that governs like the world as well with it. The law, like I don't know what specific law it is, but I know the saying is like, as above so below.
As above so below. What does that mean?
That can go up, it also has something that can go down to it. It's like there's more than just one way of doing everything and anything. It's like, and then it revolves around just energy, and specifically the energy sources like the masculine and feminine energy,
definitely,
which makes up and governs the universe, in like light and darkness.
The opposites.
Similarities, opposites. You know, positive, negative. But then I think as a society we've just created so much excess that people find it hard to accept principles like these, or even accept principles that, you know, they can realistically control their reality that they want to, if they would like to. And like, you tell that to a person, they're like, no, I'm stuck in my ways. Like,
true.
Like, shit, bro. It's like, if you want to be stuck in your ways, be stuck in your ways. Don't put it on me, bro.
Yeah, that's so true. I feel, actually, you know that you said something about the black and the white, the opposites and things like that. Like, I'm sometimes lost, like, because I feel like sometimes like they want you to pick a black or a white, like pick the side, you know. Sometimes I think about the grey zone or something, like what's in between.
The grey zone's my favourite zone.
Yeah, it's kind of like, and I'm like, do I have to be hard and fast about something? Like, sometimes maybe it's good because, I don't know. I still don't know. I was going to ask you, what do you think about that? Because
I think we have, like, as a society, we've kind of like things saying that we can't change our minds, or we can't learn to adapt our thoughts and beliefs.
Yeah.
So many people are like, oh, if you said that, like, especially we were talking about cancel culture earlier, it's like, people get cancelled for things they said 10 years ago.
Literally, that's so true. Why are you bringing that up?
10 years ago, times were very different. We barely had technology, but 10 years ago, we definitely didn't have the ability to do something like this 10 years ago.
And how different were you last year to who you are now? How can you bring something up about someone that they said 10 years ago?
Yeah,
they're a completely different person. I'm pretty sure most of us Yeah.
Most of us grow. I mean,
Yeah,
actually, I
well,
don't know.
maybe not. I don't know. But I mean, we do in some sense. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it
more or
doesn't
less.
necessarily need to be. I don't even know. Most
That's
people fall backwards.
Maybe.
If I'm being quite honest.
Yeah, you're like, oh, do I say that? But you're right. People are being cancelled left, right, and centre, and I feel like if you, they're not allowing them to change. And like you were just saying before, like, is that because, we're all meant to be perfect humans and we're not meant to make mistakes? Like, we shouldn't expect that of other people. Like,
No, definitely not.
if someone's going to make a mistake, we should allow them to redeem themselves through whatever they need to do to come back or whatever. But you shouldn't be like, nah, therefore you should never perform again because you did that and, yeah, you're out of the industry now. Like,
You're done for.
yeah, and I've seen that and I'm like, I feel like that doesn't promote people to be forgiving. And forgiveness is like,
I think that's why so many people, like, they not only do they not know how to forgive, but they also hold on to their emotions so much, like, especially guys, because obviously most guys, we've been taught by women, we've been raised by our mother, like, there's no real positive masculine role models these days. Like, there's obviously influential role models in, like, people like Andrew Tate and Justin Waller and, like, a few others, even, like, Jordan Peterson and whatnot. But, like, they get demonized for just the fact that they're trying to promote, like, we're allowed to be men, where we don't have to, like, just conform to whatever ideas or like ideologies other people have, because especially a lot of people don't even understand where these ideologies are coming from, and it's like
they just want to adopt them.
It's not even they want to adopt them, they just hear one thing and like a sheep, it's like they're like,
Yeah.
oh yes, bah bah
Yeah.
bah, repeat, and it's like,
And then more people, and probably just because it's everywhere. Like, you look at the news, which I don't really watch anyway, but like, it's really hard for me now to listen to it and have and accept it, because it's really one-sided often. Like, most stations are, and so I don't know. Like, if that's constantly what people are taking in from all the news platforms, well then of course you're going to think that way, because you're getting it every day into your ears. Like,
people need to, like, people don't have discernment to a certain extent,
being critical.
And they can't critically think of, like, okay, why do I believe that? It's like, what is society trying to push on me? I think the whole idea of propaganda is also being lost as well, and, like, the fact that we can't even, like, critically analyze something from the past that's happened and be like, use our own discernment to be like, okay, like, Hitler, we'll say, is a big topic. But Hitler was a bad person. We can agree upon that.
Yeah.
But we can also agree he was a smart person. The fact that he was able to brainwash the whole German population to go along with, like, his antics on how he wanted. It's like, doesn't mean he's a good person.
No way.
But, you got to give smarts where smarts are due, because he was able to get everyone and cause a world war. It's like, that stuff hasn't happened in over 100 years now. It's like, you can't be dumb and be able to do something like that.
How? Because I think we now look back and think, how did anyone go along with that? Like, that was just terrible. Like, that's not the right word. It's way worse than that. But, like,
it was horrific.
Like, just
it was
terrible.
just,
but, like, we think, how did everyone go along with that? But, yeah, you're right. Someone has to be very smart to be able to manage that.
I think they still use the same, like, technologies, like, these days, just in the fact that there's all propaganda, radio station, news channels, like, posters and all that sort of stuff to be like, oh, Germans were the best, or, like, their way was, like, the only way, and they didn't have, like, obviously, to the same extent that we have in the current society, like, the ability to message someone all the way from across the world at, like, an instance,
like,
whenever
now
we want.
things get
Right
spread
now.
very quickly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think they're using the technology still, like,
Probably.
as you said, like, the news, it's always one-sided. Like, I haven't watched the news, and, like, I tend to not watch the news, because, like, I hear what they're saying, and it's like, they just sound like robots, like, repeating words.
I think about what you said about garbage. Like, it's like, what are you feeding yourself? Like, to be honest, we just don't have TV because it's not no aerial connected, and we've not missed that. Like, so we don't even bother getting an aerial, and then I don't have a car at the moment, so I don't drive and listen to radio. So, and then it's funny when I love my parents, but I go home and when the news is on, like so yeah, it's like a really clickbait type of story comes on, and it does kind of make you go, and you go, wait, why am I actually hearing this? Like, what benefit is this to me hearing that this happened? It actually makes me feel really shit. Like, hearing about a car accident, and it's like, I'm so sad for that person, but why did I need to take that in right now, you know?
Yeah, I feel like it happens too much as well, because, like, when you're, like, they've kind of got you, like, control on a local level at that point when they're, like, talking about, this car accident's happened, this car
Local
accident's
issues.
happened. It's like people are taking in accidents, and then at the back of their mind, especially if they have unhealed trauma and whatnot, they're going to be like, they're going to be scared almost.
An in-depth conversation about this. It's been a while for me.
I had one with, like, this guy that I met in January. Like, he was really getting, like, we were having a really good conversation about it one night, and it was like, yeah, I don't know, I just meet other people, and I'm like, shit, like, more things seem to unlock, and I'm like, that's mental. Like,
Unlock is a great word, the unlocking, because I think that's the other thing, like, things sometimes are always there, like, they say that you've got everything you need, but it's about, like, either stripping back the layers or unlocking. It's like the level, like the game thing. Man, you could really make a video game about this stuff.
I think it actually is a video game.
Like, yeah.
Because, I think in terms of, like, how far I think it all works, like, I don't believe death is the end. I think it's, death is just a gateway to the next life.
Level. Oh yeah, next life.
Yeah, which is the next level.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Earth being the third dimension, like, how would I put it? It's like, Earth is the biggest test out of all of them. Because to have access to, like, the rest of the dimensions and rest of the levels, you need to pass, like, the level of Earth first, which is, like, a test of our lower three chakras. So, like, anger, lust, and, like, your gut, essentially. And, like, your lower three chakras, and how would I put it, like, a lot of people, they don't spend a lot of time healing traumas, and, like, then, like, unfortunately, they have to come back to Earth and repeat the tests in another lifetime.
I find this so interesting, actually. Like, where do I begin? Like, I did, like, this thing called an Akashic reading. I don't know if anyone's heard of that. Yeah?
Okay,
Yeah? I won't go too deep into it, because that's just a whole nother amazing thing.
That's a whole nother subject, right? Yeah.
Look, I don't know, but it was very, very good. It's my first time doing anything like that. But I guess what I'm just trying to say is it made me think about that whole sort of concept of lesson learning. And I've also read a couple of books, like actual novels, so not factual books, but they've got all these, like...
Everything's hidden in stories, I believe, at the end of the day. It's like...
Like, this book was, I think, I recently read The 5 People You Meet in Heaven. The other one was, gosh, I can't remember. We'll put it in the show notes. I've always wanted to say that. I just wanted to throw that in. But the book was amazing. But basically, like, it's like you say you've got, like, 100 lessons to learn. Let's just say there's way more. But 100 lessons to learn. All right, you learn 50 in one lifetime. All right, you go back to Earth again, and you've got all that knowledge. You're going to learn more. And you just keep, like, until you learn all the lessons you need to learn, which never end, you're just going to keep going through new lifetimes. I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's true, but that's how I imagine it. It's like, I wonder what my past life was like if I was, a musician, or I learned other things, and then they, I achieved those things, but there's so many things that I didn't unlock. So it's like, all right, go back now as this new person, as Georgia Renee, and you're gonna break chains / like unlock new levels.
Even and then heal just traumas.
Yeah,
like,
past things too.
Yeah, heal the past traumas that, that we've received from, parents and, just people that are around us, or even just
previous generations,
as to serve as karma for people like that are in this current timeline. I saw an interesting video that said someone who remains single their whole life and doesn't have any children means that, you know, they've got no karma to serve, that they're in their last lifetime before they go off into, like, obviously a higher dimension. And I found that pretty interesting because I've met a few people like that they're pretty old, they don't have any kids, they're like, but they're still really like interesting people.
And they don't have a desire to have kids either?
I don't know if they don't necessarily have a desire to have kids, but yeah, it's like, to an extent, it's like they just haven't. I haven't gone into too much reason why about it. But, you know, they're just good people.
Because I guess, like, I mean, I think there's a lot of information out there about parenting, which is pretty amazing. There's a lot of knowledge, and I think, like, chains are breaking in many ways. But no matter what, if you're going to have kids, you're always going to impart something on them, good and bad, you know? Like, I think, like, our parents are always, as I said,
I agree. It's like,
everyone's always trying to do their best. I do believe that. And, like, I like to think, I wouldn't parent that way, you know? But I know that if I have kids, I will still not be the perfect parent. Like, you're still going to bring your shit to it.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And everyone projects.
That's it, yeah.
And, like, especially parents, I feel like, they, if they're not going to, like, if they haven't healed, like, stuff that's come from their parents as well, it's like they might go about it a little bit differently, but here and there, you know, you're going to get projections of that sort of stuff onto the kids.
Definitely.
For me, it's like, I don't know. I kind of spend the time working through a lot of things, just because I was like, it's a shit feeling, like feeling like
carrying
that.
this around.
You feel so heavy. I didn't like right now, like.
Yeah, where are you right now? Do you feel like lighter?
I just feel ready to take on the world.
So good.
It's like I don't have the issues of having to worry about what other people are thinking, because I know like everyone's doing their own thing, and it's like. I've also, like, I've had the experience of enough people, because I'm very good at observing the way people talk and think and just act, that, like, just I know when to distance myself from people, just because they've said things, and it makes me, like, realize that they don't actually care about, like, what I'm doing. They only care what I'm helping them do. And, like, to an extent, like, I see everything as, it kind of needs to be a two-way street. If I'm helping someone else out, it's like
an exchange.
Yeah, an exchange. And especially when it comes to energy, if I'm putting my energy into helping them create their, like, thing, or helping them heal from something, but then they're not, like, giving me any positive energy back, or anything that, you know, like, will help me, like, even just words of encouragement sometimes, I don't see a point in being in that environment. Like, I've cut myself off from close friends, I've left group chats, like, I'm not even gonna lie, I left one chick's house in the middle of the night, because I was like, I didn't, like, my phone died, and, like, I don't know, I didn't feel like, it wasn't the connection necessarily, it was kind of just like, I felt that I put in the energy, and then the energy that she put in, she kind of just captured on Snapchat and sent it to other people, and I was like, okay, cool, time to, like, get the fuck out of here.
I never come back,
Yeah, because it's like, I don't know, people can rob you so easily like that, and, like, because over COVID, I went and saw counselling very early on, because I knew I had, like, after a certain experience that I had, I knew I just had shit that I had to do, like, if I didn't get rid of this, I was like,
I'm gonna walk around with this.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, I just didn't want to walk around with that.
So good. So good that you did.
Yeah. I feel like now, after doing all that, it's like, I'm finally at a point where it's like, okay, now I can figure out what I actually enjoy without so many unconscious programming me. Like, as you're a music therapist, it's like, I think sound and music is a very big one, and I learned that through, I used to listen to a lot of Juice WRLD.
Oh, what's that?
He was an artist. He was a very talented artist. He was born in, I think he was a year older than me, or the same age.
Wow.
And, like, the way that he's, like, rapped, and, like, he was really good at freestyling as well. And like, how would I put it? He died in, I think, 2019 or 2020, and I was supposed to go and see, like, I wanted to go and see his concert with mates, but they never ended up like getting back to me. So it's like I didn't get to see him before he passed. But then I listened to a lot of his music.
Really?
And his music is very depressing.
Oh, is he Australian?
No, American.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know, just
Really
he's
sad.
one of those one in a generational sort of talents.
The words were really impactful for you, like.
At the time it was. I was obviously like, I try to not listen to his music these days, just because like just the tonality and like the frequencies and the words, they just don't.
Hitting.
Yeah, they don't resonate. Like I can still rap them, but at the same time it's like I don't want to. Like I'll listen to it once in a while, because I'm one of those type of people that like just I have songs that I just like listening to, and I'll just listen to them, and then here and there I'll listen to new music. And over COVID, like I was listening to a lot of my mate's music because I was hanging out with him a lot, and so like I didn't really have that time to develop what music do I like listening to. So I'm at a point where
you're doing that now?
So I get to listen to the music I want to listen to, even though I still don't listen to music that much. But even like some of the stuff I learned from my counselors, like I used to suffer from insomnia a lot as a kid, and like she got me onto binaural beats.
Oh, cool! Yeah, that's like all the frequencies up here.
And then from there, it's like I'd listen to it at night, and then I'd learn about all these different frequency hertz and all that do different things. And I'm like, that's so cool.
Many things they should be taught more often. I want to come back to like what you said about how like, because I think that's like, actually just talking to you, I already feel more like energy for life. Like I feel like, well, I'm gonna do everything I want to do too, like, you know. But like I think I'm getting that because a couple of things. I know you have very big dreams, which is cool, you know, and that's like another thing. I don't want to forget that. That other point was because you just mentioned like that you're at a point where you feel like you don't care what you think other people think, or what people are thinking, and what their opinions are. Like, because like I think people talk about that a lot, but not everyone actually embodies that. Like, do you feel like you're, like, how do you live like that? That's good. And then how did you get there? And like, do you think it waves? Sometimes certain things do make you go, oh, I do care what people think, and you go, hang on a second, come back. Or do you feel like, oh, I've ticked that, I don't care what people think anymore? Or do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's a lot of questions in one, but I don't know. You can sit that, think that,
Think that. Okay, let me simmer. I think it comes from a multitude of things. I learnt from one counsellor that the thoughts in my head aren't real, and then she taught me a technique to get rid of them. Not like get rid of them, but they're definitely not as prevalent as they were when like I started. I remember, I think in one day I had about 55 unconscious thoughts, and when you have unconscious thoughts always attacking you all the time, it's like it's going to be affecting you somehow.
It distracts every action it affects.
Exactly. Then it also comes to, I guess like right now, just my life philosophy and like how I believe in sources. Like right now, I'd say is why I'm able to be so strong in the sense that I learned that everything, there's like 7 pillars, and the 7 pillars for me is mind, body, spirit, energy, fire, water, and earth.
And that's like, is how you live your life, kind of?
So like in that sense of like, I think everything can be related to one of those like situations, like those topics. So like your mind would be philosophy, and the way you think, and your values and your morals. So I listened to a lot of, like over COVID, I'd listen to a lot of philosophy videos because I was always interested in philosophy, especially Stoicism, and like listening to like videos around Marcus Aurelius, and they even like listening to what's his name? Ryan Holiday. He's a very
he's a writer, right?
Yeah, he's a writer. He's a philosopher himself. He follows Stoicism, and like I'd listen to his videos. I haven't read any of his books yet, but like that was the first step, kind of.
Like kind of almost like changing your beliefs and
not only just doing that on like, you can't just do it on a like, I'd say like I'd actually do it on a subconscious level. So I'd be sleeping and listening to these sort of videos as well.
Oh, not just like I'm gonna go for a walk and pay attention. You actually would go to bed with these.
Yeah. When I'd go for walks, I would actually be listening to like sort of stuff like warrior mindsets, different kind of philosophy. Even when going to the gym, I'd always stay away from music when being at gym, just because it's like, I don't know, say if you're deadlifting 120 kilos, which is obviously a lot, and you have to listen to like a very hard style beat to get it. It's like, are you really getting 120 kilos, or is it the music making you get to 120 kilos? Even movies, like I'm a filmmaker, it's like I love, we had to learn about telling films, and I'd always look in it from the angle of like the psychology and like how do I want to tell this story, or how do I want to make people feel by this film, in the way of my lighting, lenses, camera choices, even the colors that I'm using. I think it's all connected.
So much involved.
And I realized like how movies and TV shows can actually affect like what I was doing, because I spent a lot of time watching Netflix over COVID, and like I think in the last year and a half I have watched maybe like 6 movies on Netflix or Stan or anything like that. I don't watch a lot of movies. Like I try to avoid watching it.
You used to, and now like
I used to watch a lot.
Or you're more conscious about what you pick to watch as well.
I've always been conscious of what I pick. Because like,
well, you're a filmmaker, I guess, as well.
Exactly.
You don't just pick anything.
No, a lot of filmmakers I feel like do. Like a lot of the filmmakers that I know, they're watching films all the time, which is good. But like I've never wanted to create from a point of what other people are creating. I wanted to be my own. Like, I want to be original in the sense of like, I'm not allowing other things to
like manipulate.
Manipulate my decisions, because it's like I see people whole personality. I've had friends that like, you know, they like, there's nothing bad about it. It's just like a lot of who they were always based off characters from TV shows and who they try to embody. Even to me, to a certain extent, I did that when I used to watch this show called Suits.
Oh yeah, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's really good, and it's about lawyers and whatnot. And I remember watching that in high school, and I'm like, I want to go and study law now.
Yes.
And it's like stuff like that. It's like you don't realize. Even one of my mates, like, and his missus, they watch RuPaul's like Drag Race or whatnot. Not my thing. And like I can see that effect of him watching that has had on him, because I've known him before he was watching any of that.
Interesting.
And I see how it's affected him, and it's like there's no hate towards it. It's like, if that's what you want to do, but like, I don't know, I see how it affects people, and like they change their whole identity based on something outside of them, when our whole identity comes from within us.
Yes.
And what we're able to know and do and achieve, and then the body obviously is our body. Like food, like how we eat, how we set our healthy, how we like use things like this, even to a point of like smoking, people vaping. It's like all that sort of stuff. Soft drink, all that sort of stuff, and even the way we train, in a sense of like how we train. Then spirit was, I wouldn't say I was really originally spiritually inclined, until like I understood more about what it meant, but
or what it meant for you as well.
What it meant for me, and how would I put it, like,
it's kind of like different for everyone in a way.
Yeah, it kind of is. Like for me, it kind of just means to breathe, someone who breathes, like in a sense, because spirit in Latin means to breathe.
That's so interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, to breathe, that means like breathing control, meditation. It's how I got into meditation, because like in high school they used to get me to do mindful meditations, but I hated it like so much. But then I was like, okay, no, if I can actually learn how to breathe and control my breath,
Yep.
I'll be able to do a lot more things because I will have a lot more oxygen available at any given time.
Yeah.
And then, like, energy is, like, obviously our character level, who we are as our personality.
And how you can feel.
How we feel, how we connect, how we engage, how we socialize, who, like, where we want to go out into the world. But ultimately, our energy is love. Like, that's what energy is. And so many people, like, misconstrue this idea of love, that it's, like, from an egotistical lust point of view, which is, like, why they stay in, like, a lower third chakra, because, like, they think it's, like, all about that lust. Whereas, like, you know, I don't think it is. Like, I'm sure, like, everything I'm still researching and exploring and expanding these ideas.
You're not like, I know this, so I'm going to keep being like,
of course, everything is, constantly changing, evolving, vibrating at different frequencies. So it's like, it's about, like, that growth mindset. It's like, the mentality I always had was, this thing, it's called Kaizen. So, it means continuous growth.
It's good. We should be committed to that. Not like saying that I'm not good enough now, but like, all right, I know where I am now, but I'm always going to be open to, like, learning more.
Yeah, exactly.
Pushing yourself.
And just growing. Like, I try to, like, every day, if I can be 1% better every day over a span of a year, it means you're 32% better than you were the year before.
Yes.
So it's like,
true.
how hard is it to, I don't know, maybe do an extra 10 push-ups a day?
Yeah.
It's like...
Or, like push yourself to get out of bed half an hour earlier, or go to bed half an hour earlier as well. Yeah, like, just little things.
Exactly. And then, obviously, fire is passion. So following your passion.
Being inspired.
Being inspired, you know, actually wanting to go out and do something.
Create.
Or it doesn't even need to be create. Your thing could just be to build a house. Like, that could be your passion, build a house. And it's like, you know, it can be realistically anything. I think sometimes we think it's too much about creativity, whereas, like, there's so many different avenues. Because, like, even, like, another, like, a person that I'm going to be interviewing, we're going to be talking about, like, biohacking, and, like, becoming a superhuman. So, like, I think that there's ways of, like, that anything can be achievable if you put your mindset to it. Then
fire,
water is your emotions. So you can either control your emotions, like, you either understand your emotions, or you're unconsciously controlled by your emotions. Like, if you get angry, you're gonna lash out at people. Which, like, even to me, like, sometimes, like, I'll still, like, even if I'm getting angry, it's like, I don't actually see anything wrong in feeling and expressing your emotions, even if it's anger, even because, like, good and bad are, like, kind of, they're not real, they're social constructs.
Yes, absolutely. The right thing, the wrong thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's all, like, being programmed into us, what's good and bad. It's like, well, right and wrong. It's like,
if we say anger's bad, then people are going to suppress it and never let it out.
Exactly.
It's just like probably how you manage your emotions, how you express yourself.
You can either manage your emotions and understand, like, oh yeah, I was feeling that way because of this, or you can just fester on it, and, like, then it's just going to make you more angry, and then all these, like, you're putting out anger into the universe by holding it in within you. So yeah, it's good to just, even if it's just writing it down, journaling,
or telling someone,
you know, it can be a good thing. Then what's the last one? Earth. Humility.
Humility.
And grounding is a technique of earth.
That's the strategy.
That's a strategy. And then humility is like, you know, remaining humble, you know, not, you know, trying to step on other people's toes, you know, creating your own lane, creating your own wave. There's enough room in this world for everyone to succeed.
I like that.
So, I don't know, so many people, like, it's as above, so below. What's the opposite of humility is ego. So many people operate out of the ego, as if, like, one person took so long, that means, like, what, like, why is that person, like, doing it so easy? It's like, it's all about humility. There's enough room for everyone to succeed, and anything really different, it's like, I don't really even know how to explain it, because it's like, I just don't operate on that
a couple of things that stood out for me from what you said about, like, because I think my question was around, like, yeah, how do you not care what people think? And that's like, you said your amazing philosophy to life. And something that stands out to me of something that maybe people could learn from that to help you not care what people think is, what you just said at the very end in particular, was about how you said there's enough room for everyone to succeed. It's like staying in your own lane. And to me, that's really important in like the whole mindset thing of like not caring what people think, because I don't know, this as a musician, as someone who is like making music and like I feel really inspired now from this conversation, because I want to walk away and think literally anything is possible for me. And just because someone else doesn't make music like you doesn't mean you can't do it. Like you were just saying that, and that was the other thing, you're conscious of what you consume because it affects your ideas and you want to be original. And that's actually what we should be going for, originality and staying in your own lane and going at your own pace of life.
I might need to rechange staying. I think it's about actually creating our own lane as well. Because staying in our own lane is kind of like...
stagnant maybe?
Yeah, it's a little bit stagnant because like you see other people like doing something similar to you and then you want to just stay in your own lane. But I think actually like talking to other people, that's why I love like doing things like this, because it's like I get to talk to you, I get to hear your ideas, you get to hear mine. We can take our own interpretation of what each other said and then figure out how we can implement it into our own lives. Even the whole idea of this as a chat show, it's here so that way other people can also hear ideas, and you know, also we want to be able to engage with them, so through platforms like Twitter and posting stuff like that, then we can hear what other people have to say about this topic, and then even like, you know, come back, go up to Queensland, see Georgia,
absolutely,
and like continue the conversations with other perspectives from other people, hear what you guys have to say, and like delve deeper into it, because everyone has this like just real shallow point of view in life, and it's boring.
Yeah.
It's boring.
And when you mean like shallow, do you mean like they're like, can you explain that? Like your idea of that? Like as in, what's the boring? Like they're not dreaming, or they're...
No, it's not that. It's just they've got nothing to say really. They're shallow in the sense of that they don't know how to speak for themselves. They can only speak off by what other people have said. Even the whole thing, like last year, I was like to my mate about Andrew Tate. It's like, because I saw it from both sides. It's like I saw it can be negative for young women, and it can also be positive for young men. But a lot of people, they were so closed off to the idea that he could actually be helping, you know, young men. Like I know if I was growing up as a 16-year-old and he was telling me, you know, I need to hustle, I need to go to the gym, to go to work, to, you know, create the life that I want to create. It's like, I'd be like, okay, that would actually be like helpful. It's like, it's stuff I did anyways, but at the same time, like having that extra level of like motivation by seeing someone who's done it already, it's like, okay, if he can do it, why can't I do it?
Yeah, true.
But so many people will only listen to
the most popular side.
Yeah, the most popular or the most controversial side, drama, I would say, because like everyone loves this idea of drama, especially in the sense we got so many reality TV shows which are all created around drama at the moment.
Literally.
And I don't know, it's like I saw what unconscious thinking looks like in the fact that I'd be getting to my mates and be like, coffee's bad, drinking so much coffee's bad for you, because Andrew Tate, like I said, it was a funny clip. He was like, oh yeah, I drank like 10 cups of coffee or something in one day and I love it and all that, and he'd be like, then I'll be like, I'll tell him my own reasons why I disagree with him, but they didn't come off of the bias of like Andrew Tate said that. It came off of the fact that I went through a point in time where I would say I was addicted to Red Bulls, like I was probably having like 3 or 4 a day, and I was having a lot of caffeine come through my system, and it's a crazy amount. Like over a week I'd consume so many Red Bulls, and I realized, like, then I stepped away and I really like took that back, like, and I found alternative ways to like deal with it, if it's like, you know, that some of this, or you know, even even drinking coffee, or it's not like I completely don't consume Red Bulls or anything like that anymore, but it's definitely a lot less than it was, and I still do see the importance of having like a caffeine like substance for like the fogginess that you feel in your brain in the morning when you're waking up, and it's like everything seems like a bit distorted, and then if you don't get out of bed straight away, it's like you're there for a few hours. But like a lot of people, they'll just see a video like that and
they'll just take it as
they'll take it for face value, like not see any comedic effect from it, and then they'll start spreading like that opinion onto other people, and it becomes its own rabbit hole very quickly, that a lot of people don't even know the reason why they hate this guy, and it's usually stemmed off by something that's not necessarily true, that someone else has just said, especially with news media, like companies putting out these big scandalous titles and whatnot.
It's very much clickbait or like one-sided and stuff, but
even the whole Vice piece that they did on him, it was funny because I saw like his perspective before they put out, because he has his own like emergency meeting, like chat, like kind of like a chat show, talk show thing as well. So and I saw that, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's going to be a hit piece. Like, it was very obvious, like, it was clear as day it was going to be a hit piece. And, like, it was. And then it's, like, him going to jail and all that sort of stuff. And I saw so many people switch up on him.
Wow.
Like, I even had to switch my opinion as well. Like, I realized how skewed everyone was, to the point that I had to change my opinion in the fact that I'm not going to judge people that like off stuff on the internet. I'm only going to judge people that I've met in person. So I actually haven't met this guy in person, so I don't know what he's like. And how am I supposed to know what he's like unless I meet him in person?
Imagine if someone that you had never met is judging you. It's like not that you should care either, but it's like they literally have no idea.
Exactly. It's like judging off what? It's like, what, one word? Like, how can you sum up like just a few words about someone when they've had their own whole life experience that you know nothing about? And
often what you see is just like the highlights or what they want you to see.
Exactly.
And then, so it's not really enough information, but like, I really think that's, I love what you said before. It just like made me think, again, the creating your own lane is so different to staying in your own. Because right now I feel like I'm getting out of the lane that I was just in now. Like, I was in a lane, but after this conversation, I'm like going this other way now, like, which is cool.
Yeah.
Not like I'm out on someone else's, but it's like a new path or something, and I'm doing it based off what I'm learning every day, and like the conversations I make with people, and it just seems so much more like why should I care? Why? Like, I literally have one life in this body right now, so just like it makes me kind of just want to get rid of like my phone even. Like, I can imagine it. Like, there's
100%. I know that feeling.
It's like what you're saying. There's like, you don't want to be influenced, but there's inspiration. So like, things inspire you, but also some things like affect, like you were saying, your creativity, like certain movies and things like that. So it's a fine line of like having the balance of being inspired, but then not being influenced. Like, I might like be inspired by some musicians, but then I might also look at them and go, oh, like they're there in their lifetime, or they're so much further, more successful than me. And that talk starts to make you go, why am I doing what I'm doing? I'm not good enough, blah, 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 blah. So
it's a lot more detrimental, we think, as well, when we're comparing ourselves like that. I remember, like, I think we were talking about earlier, but that's the whole reason I stopped filming YouTube videos, like, so early on, because I had that experience where I was always comparing myself to other people coming up in the same field. And even this one youngling that was like, I think he was really young. He was probably like 4 or 5 years younger than me, and he's coming up and he was getting a lot of views, and like I didn't understand why and that sort of stuff, and it was making me annoyed. And then how YouTube was changing their whole algorithms with monetization, like it made me not want to like be on camera anymore. But like obviously I'm still working with cameras. It pushed me into another direction, which I'm thankful for, because I also enjoy filming just as much, because it's like
As
I
being
get
on the
to
inside.
I get to meet interesting people. Like last year I was filming documentaries with Deaf Kids Australia, and they were doing this Blueprint project where they were interviewing like these young talented individuals who were hard of hearing, and like the stories that they had, or like the things that they had to deal with, like it was so inspirational. Like hearing them speak about, you know, like even though they're deaf, it doesn't mean, you know, they're not capable of like doing the things that they enjoy doing, finding ways of like incorporating it in with like their sports club and all that, and just like, you know, is it inspiration to even like just create this? It's like have conversations, the whole art of conversation. So many different people. We've all got our own unique perspective on life, and like different areas. Because I don't think everyone. Obviously, I try to focus on all of the things, but I know like so many people, they might be more like spiritually inclined, or they might be more physically inclined, or they might be more mentally inclined in the way that they live their lives. And like there is examples out there of people who are at the peak of this, where I like to think that's where like the superhuman elements come out of it, because they've actually like tapped into inner source in that specific field or area, and then they're able to use that to, you know, do amazing things, whether it be like creativity, like singing and creating music, or it might be like physically being able to, you know, run like Usain Bolt and how quick he was.
Oh my god, yeah.
And I think it's achievable for everyone as well, but they try to keep us in with all these unconscious programs.
I know. And then the other part of me thinks like, okay, look, I think that everyone is capable, like you just said, but maybe it's just that, and I feel like I don't like to think that, I don't know, like everything affects the other. So if they don't necessarily, I don't know, we all have a different measure of success, maybe. Because like, I don't think it's fair to say that that person's not successful. Like, I don't know, because maybe in this lifetime they're not, but the next one. Like, because again, we're all learning.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like, I might be here now, but in my next lifetime I might be there, you know, like, I don't know.
I try to not think about too much about future timelines, just because the future and the past, then like they're real, but they're also not real at the same time. I can only control the things in my present moment, and I know if I worry too much about the future, it's going to cause me to feel anxious, and if I worry too much about my past, it's going to make me feel depressed.
Yeah, and stuck in the past.
Stuck in the past, and I've seen people who are like that, like the only thing that they can bring up is the past, and like they're very scared people. I've noticed, like they're scared of people that are higher up than them. They feel the need to put down people that they have a perception that they're above. And
if you're living in the future, you're anxious about what's going to happen and you don't do anything.
Yeah, exactly. I would say I was stuck in that rabbit hole for a while, because I used to, like last year I was getting a lot of tarot reading card like videos on TikTok, and like it kept telling me the future to a certain extent, and it was
stressful.
like, it wasn't stressful or anything, because I would say it was more numbing than anything. I just felt like a certain level of numbness, but I also was like, I'd say I was addicted. I was probably addicted, and it's like that thing, and like it also, but like through that it helped me realize a lot more about my energy. It made me help realize like what I actually want to do. It taught me a lot of lessons, because like I'd share my ideas with individuals that I perceive to be close to me, and instead of receiving like encouragements or like, you know, just support, like I felt like they were just sending me oh no, you need to do this first, you need to do that first, and
rather than like listening to what you
instead, because like what I was showing them was like the vision. Like I hadn't necessarily worked out how I was going to get to the vision yet, but like, I know as long as I put energy in towards working towards wherever I want to go, it's like you reap what you sow at the end of the day. It's
true.
like, if you're gonna put in the energy to creating something great, then it's like you might fail like 100 times
Definitely.
before getting there,
Yeah.
but we're all on our own timeline,
Yeah,
and as long as we're
absolutely.
committed to, like, you know, putting our best foot forward, we will reach there, no matter if it's like 1 year or if it's 50.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, I've been telling myself that. I'm like, people sometimes think people are an overnight success. It's just not true. Like
There's
like,
rare cases, but it's like
things have still led them to where they are. Like, and I often think, like, some of the musicians I love, they might seem like they're only been in the limelight for 2 years, but actually they've been slogging it for about 10 years to be where they are now. And that, again, I mean, I'm creating my own lane, but I want to tell myself, that, like, sometimes I just wish numbers didn't exist. Like you were saying, what stopped you from your YouTube channel was, they've got more views than me or more subscribers. Sometimes I wish there wasn't that on my apps, because, like, you look at your Spotify list and you're like, oh, wow, I've only got 200 views in 2 weeks or like a month. You're like, but if you start thinking that is actually that really matters, then you don't create from a place of love and authenticity. So I'm just like, okay, this might take me 10 years, 20 years to be, again, shouldn't even think too far ahead though. It's just like, let's just see where it takes me.
I think just let it, like, as you said, let it see where it takes you.
With a bit of a vision, but not like...
Yeah, just have, like, your main vision of, like, what you, like, in a sense, like, desire as your outcome.
Like your why.
Your why, like, what makes it, like, your vision. But then, like, what's it called? From there, it's, like, just, you know, like, I think everything can be broken down realistically.
Work backwards a little bit.
Work backwards. It's like, you know, I watched FaZe Clan when I was, like, they're a gaming organization, and they, like, when they first started, they were just a bunch of kids that all gamed really well, and they all joined a house together, and they would make content and all that, and, like, even Nelk Boys, they pranksters, and now they've got this big corporation, but, like, I watched them, and, like, now they're at the top of their fields, respectively, but I just saw them how they got there. It's like, it was the hard work, it was the dedication, it wasn't the consistency, it wasn't about selling out for the money either. I feel like a lot of artists just sell out for the big corporations straight away,
all the numbers,
to get money quickly. I know, like, even that was a big challenge that I had to strive for, like, pretty early on, like, not worrying about, like, earning a big, huge paycheck and sort of things like that. And yeah, like, everything works out as long as you're putting in the right energy out into the universe. You know, you can realistically have whatever life that you want. And it's, like, the pure belief of, like, the fear that you can't have something, leading you to not really truly getting that in your lifetime.
Yeah, that's so true. Yes. Oh,
shit.
So many
words. I need some water after that.
I actually put hot water in this before I came. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna need this.
That's smart. I'm having cold water.
This bottle's way too big.
You got anything you want to talk about to end off this amazing conversation? Start of many, I'm sure.
Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll say this. The first thing that comes to my mind, like, you just never know what is coming into your life. Like, I just find it so interesting that I'm here right now. You know, like a year ago, I didn't know
even know each other.
You know, and that's like.
It's amazing.
It's kind of amazing in my mind. I don't know. There's something more to this, but it's just like, wow, like the people you meet and that come in and out of your life, seasons. And then there's people that sometimes are in your life for ages, but then you meet someone that just you met like last year, and then look, now we're having this conversation and I'm influenced now. Like, you just never know, like, people come in and then they're like a guardian or a messenger and a prophet or influence and boom. Yeah, I don't know, I find that interesting.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's a little law of attraction. We attract what we are at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I kind of try to take that mentality as well.
That's me. Yeah. Not you.
What do I have on my mouth?
I've got water all over my mouth because it's bloody opening.
the law of attraction, and like I never used to take pride in the way that I do things or look, or like I'll just go out in my shorts or pants, and I still do here and there, but like I'm conscious of the energy that my clothes carry, and
I feel
how
that.
it's not that other people are perceiving who I am. It's about the self-perception of who do I want to like put out into the universe.
Yeah, how do I feel? It's so true. It's kind of like you're just owning who you are, and like...
There's nothing wrong with that as well. People will try putting you down for like that sort of like way of being, but it's like, I don't care enough to like really give them the time of day anyway. So
well, like you just said, like you're really creating your lane. You're not letting the opinions of others, or even what you think people think of you, to affect what dreams you have. Like,
exactly.
I know you've got big dreams for the next couple of weeks, which I won't announce, but like that's or you know, whenever that is, like you can't have such a big dream if you care so much about people think of you. I feel like I don't know, like you can, but like it's going to be a bit harder to get there.
I don't think you actually can, if I'm being quite honest.
Yeah, maybe not.
It's like I kind of see it. It's like back to what we were talking about way earlier, the whole energy, like suckers.
I know. It sounds so negative. I'm sorry, but blood suckers.
The blood suckers. I kind of see it as like energy leeches, if anything.
Yes, leaking energy.
Yeah, they like the more people that you are connected to, the more like, and the more you care about like what other people think and say. It's like you're leeching their thoughts and opinions onto you, and it's like we're in this world where apparently we want to be connected with like so many people, and like each person is a leech. It's like I told
allow yourself to be
exactly. We allow ourselves to like be controlled by the perception of what other people think and feel, and it's like for me personally, it's like I don't care about that. I've worked very hard in cutting off a lot of people, which sounds weird to be proud of, but like
as you said, it was discernment. Was like this toxic move was like actually.
Exactly. It's like I don't want to be around people that are going to be toxic, and I don't feel the need to be connected to so many people to go out and live above my means, or even like, you know, have more than is necessary. Like over COVID, I got into minimalism for a bit, and like learning the art of just letting things go. Like even today, it's like sometimes I have to go and like audit myself, like, am I actually using this? Or especially clothing wise, I had so many clothes that filled up my wardrobe used to be filled, and like I could barely fit clothes in, and now it feels empty. But I know everything I wear, I actually wear, instead of just having things which I could give off to like a charity, which might like be better for them.
And it removes decision fatigue. Like me living out of a van last year, I had like tiny amount of clothes, and now I love it that way. Like every now and then I come back to Melbourne and I swap my clothes and I take some of, I haven't thrown everything away, but I know exactly what I have, and it just reduces that decision fatigue. What am I going to wear? And and I feel like it takes a while to build. Like actually I read a book called Conscious Wardrobe, very good, but like building a wardrobe with stuff that makes you feel good, that you can express yourself, it's good quality, items that you care about, you're going to wear. You don't need to have all this extra, I'm just going to buy a t-shirt because it's cheap. Just get it if you really love it, want it, quality, you know. And it's just, it feels, you feel more proud of it. And then you want to wear your clothes because you're like,
exactly.
I own this, I love this.
You feel good in them as well. It's like, you don't feel like, I remember I used to have all these like clothes that, they definitely carried a lot more feminine energy. And like I didn't like the way it made me feel, like especially when it had like rips and all that sort of stuff in there. I was like, it makes me just feel very uncomfortable. So I got rid of them, and now it's like I wear clothes that actually make me feel good about myself in. And then it's like, even if they're like a little bit too big or something, like jeans, because they don't come in, like jeans don't really come in like perfect sizes. It's like I'll go and get them tailored. As simple as that. So
yes, I feel that, and I feel like your clothes can sometimes be an extension of you in a way. Like it doesn't have to be, but and maybe it's also just getting rid of the clothes that don't really stand for who you are now in this moment. Like maybe they were served you, and then you came to a point of actually that's so not me. Like that's yeah. I feel like that. Sometimes I put like I had like some shirts in there. And I'm like, I wore that back in my retail working days, and if I wear them now, I just I just don't wear that anymore. It doesn't feel right.
Yeah, even
the
for
fabric.
me, it's like it's
Sometimes
the
it's
way
fabric.
the way that the like. I feel like it's the heaviness of the fabric as well. Just because I've worn like really thin t-shirts and they always just fall apart really quickly. And B, it's like it just I don't know. There's something about them that just doesn't feel right. And whereas like I got this hoodie gifted to me from a friend that was like. It was from a lighting company, and they came into his work, and they were giving away a bunch of hoodies, and he gave one to me, and I like the material quality. It just felt so nice, and I was like, this hoodie is just.
I feel sleek in this.
Yeah, exactly. It's like felt good, and then I was like, shit.
I love this though. We just come back to clothes, but really everything is connected, isn't it? Like we're not trying to be like superficial about clothes, but like actually what you wear. Like I'm wearing these pants that I got from Savers, my nana's cardigan, and this is probably from when I was 16 years old. It was actually. I remember singing on stage with it, and but like. You just feel like, I'm gonna go out and be me. Like this is who I am. Like you said, attraction, law of attraction, just feels good. Yeah. Life. And now we have grey skies. But it still feels good, you know? It's about how you see things.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Come up to Brisbane. Right now it's like 24 degrees, man. I must say it's like starting to get colder. Like,
Okay, so come up before full winter kicks in. That's what you're saying, yeah?
Exactly, yeah. It was just like a couple of days away. Yeah.
Gotta go and earn some more money.
Yeah.
Sponsors?
Yeah, clothing. Good quality clothing.
Good quality clothing. Hit me up.
Yeah.
Hit Georgia up.
Me too. Thanks.
Thank you for being on this amazing episode.
Thank you.
It's a very long chat, but I'm looking forward to, everything that's going to come out of it.
Yeah, I'm keen to see how it all simmers with me for the rest of the day. Like, right now, I feel super inspired. Like, I want to just do me. The other part of me, and the other part of me is like, I just want to let all that sit. I don't want to do any more work. Like, I just want to see how that affects the rest of my day.
Meditate on it.
Yeah, I think I will. I'm going to have a chill one. This weather's perfect for that. Staying inside and being cozy. But seriously, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to just express myself without a script, because you didn't give me any questions. It was like, just it happens. And it's been a while since I've done it, so thank you.
Yeah, sometimes I don't like to think too much about the questions, because it's like, I don't even know necessarily, like, the questions, because I feel like I get questions inspired by people's answers, rather than getting questions and then looking for an answer.
I agree.
And like it makes it more interesting to talk about topics.
And that's conversation too.
Exactly.
Rather than interview.
Rather than that like interview style, which has its time and place.
It does.
But for like for
what you want.
Yeah, for what I want and what I want to put out into the world, it's that's just not it. But on that note, it's like also if you guys want to join into this discussion of what we've been talking about today, it's like you'll find the mega thread on Twitter. Once we post it, we'll post it and like then we'll go out to see Georgia again in Queensland.
Cool.
Touch on some of the things that you guys want to say. Also continue to talk about more stuff because it's such a big world, and as you said, we're constantly learning, we're constantly growing.
No doubt we'll be challenged by someone else's ideas.
Exactly.
So it could be good for me to learn about that as well. So cool. We'll see you in sunny Queensland.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks, guys.
Woo.